it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. So this is a very special episode of going from dating a relationship kryptonite to asexy superhero single artist of life. So what has changed for me? So if you've been following this channel for a while now, you'll know that I had a breakup and it was a really bad breakup. I'm over 5.5 weeks into the breakup now. So this is week 6. And this week, things have started to finally shift for me. Part of that is due to Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club and his trainings. And there's one particular thing he teaches us, and I got to be careful what I say because I can't divulge all the stuff in the Love Life Club, but he tells us to basically either, it's a choice. You stay with the old story or you create a new one and give yourself basically a new meaning in life and a new way of living and a new path. And yes, get busy creating, basically. And so, yes, that has really stuck with me. There's actually a quote from Matthew that I've put on my sliding wardrobes, and that is just fixated in my head now. So all of a sudden, especially today, particularly, I've started to feel a lot more relief now about being single. I'm really happy to be single. I've got a lot more happiness in my own home again. And the memories of my ex are starting to fade a lot now. I'm getting much stronger as a single person again. For some reason, it's like dating and relationships are kryptonite for my soul. And I don't know why that is, other than obviously the traumas I've been through in relationships, So yes, I guess that is a good enough reason, right? But I just know that I'm so much better as a single person. I'm actually always stronger as a single person. I find it hard to regulate my own emotions in an actual relationship. I do have relationship and potential relationship anxiety. So being on dating sites actively was kind of very difficult for me to do, but I was active on them for 10 years. I'm no longer seeking a relationship right now. I'm not saying I'm never going to be interested in one, but right now, all the thoughts in my head are, I'm really happy being single. I don't want a relationship. I'm so happy being single. These are all the things I can do with my life now. Now I've got all the time that I would have been on dating sites, actively looking for someone. I'm not wasting that time anymore. I'm actively using that time. I'm being more productive again. I'm getting shit done again in my life. For a while, I felt really kind of like disabled, if you know what I mean. I do have disabilities. I have fibromyalgia and anxiety. I have actual disabilities, but I felt like, how can I put it? I felt very lost, very down, not very positive, not very optimistic like I would usually be. And kind of like things were really badly affecting me. And I felt a great sense of loss. Obviously, I haven't fully got over everything to do with that relationship, but I feel like I've made so much progress and I'm so proud of myself. My body actually has less pain at the moment, which I think is good because it's a sign that I'm healing. My back has been injured and I've got physio next week. I have been doing the physio exercises, but I had a break yesterday. So, I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I've been doing. So today I did positive affirmations in the morning, and Bob Baker, he's an amazing person on YouTube. He has positive affirmation meditations, and he also has songs. He writes his own songs. And they're very repetitive, that you could say maybe they're a little bit corny, but they're amazing. And the beat really gets in your head. And when you wake up to that, it feels so good. I'm making a practice to wake up to his stuff. When I say wake up, I still have to get my laptop out and put the affirmations on. And then I try to go to sleep playing the affirmations because this helps reprogram the mind. Liam, hi, Sandra. Good to see you, sweetheart. Lots of love. Nice to see you, Liam, too. So I've got into a really good habit now of making sure I listen to positive affirmations. I have to do this before I look at my phone before I do anything else. I go to the toilet because I'm uncomfortable listening to the meditation unless I've just been to the toilet. But I do put the meditations on, and I do have to have good bacteria for my tummy. So sometimes I have that first to make sure my tummy can absorb that while I'm listening to the affirmations. And I do that before I go to sleep. So I was doing that this morning, the song first, positive affirmation song, and then also an actual affirmations meditation where I repeat that back. That was really good. I actually went to sleep much earlier last night. Well, it was still this morning, but it was like midnight. I was like getting ready for sleep before midnight because I was really exhausted because I had like legal paperwork stuff I had to do yesterday, and I still had to finish that today. But I got really early because I woke up early because I went to sleep earlier, and it took me over 4 hours to do that, right? But I did that, and then I got on with my media press kit. I'm on page 2 now. I did the majority of page 2 today. I've still got some of that to finish, and then I had a break from that, and then I watched another movie which was called The Ice Princess. So, you know, on Disney Plus, that again made me feel really good. And then I'm partway through watching an educational content video on YouTube, you know, just upgrading my mind, the way it thinks more. And, you know, I'm really like focused on my health at the moment. Obviously, I'm seeing a physio. It's an NHS physio, but I'm seeing her again next Tuesday. The exercises are helping, but I did have a break from yesterday because I just, you know, sometimes when I've got a lot of work on, it's kind of hard to fit that in because it does drain my energy a bit. So I did that. I did the exercises this morning. I should say that after the meditations, I actually did exercises and I did a bit of dancing. So the physiotherapist told me I can do dancing as well because it makes me excitable and happy and feel elated, and the actual endorphins and the dopamine actually makes my pain a lot less with my fibromyalgia and pain in general. So she said, I do want you to put music on. I do want you to try and do some dancing, like whatever you feel comfortable with. And so I was doing a bit of dancing. I was doing a lot of the exercises she gave me to do today, but I was also putting some extra things in there. And I was like, you know, and because I was focusing on the legal paperwork stuff after that, my mind was kind of absorbed in things. And by being absorbed in other things and not thinking about my ex, it's just so much better. And in my mind, I keep telling myself all day, like, I'm happy being single. I don't want a relationship. I'm stronger being single. I'm more powerful being single. And I keep watching these motivational shorts videos on YouTube. They're probably what guys actually watch, right? Because they're kind of aimed at guys. Some of them even talk like in guy language that they're aimed at guys. But I watch them and they're only shorts. They're like motivation. They've got this big like lion or something, and they got guys doing push-ups and doing weights and all this lot. They're going, come on, be strong. And they're like, you know, you're dangerous when you know you can do it alone and you can succeed. You know, when you realize you could do it, or, you know, you can be successful alone, then you have the power. And so by putting all these positive affirmations, by moving my body more, by actually feeling better in my body, it's getting stronger again. My mind is getting stronger. My single mentality is getting stronger. My ex is fading. I'm like glad to be out of that toxicity now. I am glad to reclaim my personal power, to reclaim my personal space in my home. I feel it's better because I have changed a few little things around, not a ton, but I have changed some. And, you know, got rid of a couple of things. And so it's just really empowering. You know, I feel much better. I got a really good review on my diary confessions book today. I just had that up actually. It's a shame I didn't keep it open because yeah, anyway, let me read it out. It came up today. So yeah, made me feel seen, says Aston. Made me feel seen as an asexual person. This is this book she's talking about. Really good representation of asexuality and a fascinating read. So I was so thrilled with that because this book came out the week I split up with my ex. I officially ended it, by the way, because he couldn't be asked to, but I still ended it. You know, Liam, he lost a sweetheart. Thank you, Liam. He did lose a sweetheart. I do tell myself positive self-talk again today. You're kind, because I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I should tell you as well. I got my book out again, which I admit, bit naughty because I haven't had it out for ages. This is my self-love journal, which I haven't kept up with. Welcome to your self-worth journal, it said, but I thought it said self-love. So I've been writing stuff in here as well. You know, he actually did say I've got a kind and caring nature. So even though he wasn't good to me in the end and he lied and deceived me, he still said one of the reasons he's with me because of my kind and caring nature. I'm like, hear that, Sandra? He said you have a kind and caring nature, right? So you didn't deserve the shit that he was like in the end, right? There's no need for that behavior, right? If he didn't want to be in a relationship, he could have just simply said to me straight outright. But no, lying and deceiving instead. It's not good, right? But that's on him. That's fine. I wish him the best of luck and love in the world. I am not going to want any harm to be caused to him. I'm not that type of person. I like the way I am. I like myself being a kind-hearted person. So yeah, so I've gone back to doing writing in my book. I wrote it earlier and just like, you know, because I'm like, remember, Sandra, what do you like about yourself? Because obviously when you've had someone who's criticizing you and kind of putting you down and stuff like that, you don't actually realize what they're doing as much as when you're single and you're looking back and you're like, hang on a minute, that person in the end, what were they doing? They were criticizing you. They were, you know, like they weren't being good about you. And so you're not that type of person though. Remember who you are. You are kind and you're caring. So I put stuff that I like about myself. I love your smile, I've said to myself, your cute face, your channel. I wrote about this channel in there and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, my channel's actually not me, but it's like a representation of me. I feel so comfortable here and I just talk from my heart here, you know? So I put my channel as something I like about me, but my hair, I love people a lot, which I do. I really care about people. I think I'm kind, caring, energetic, sparkly. I've got my sparkle back now, right? I love my sparkly personality and I love my good dance skills and I'm intelligent. I love that about myself and gifted creatively. I'm kind and caring nature. I repeat it again, loving, generous with my time and forgiving. I put forgiving question mark because I'm not used to him. I'm not totally into this forgiveness business, right? Because it's like kind of someone's not sorry, in my opinion, there's kind of nothing to forgive. But that's not what a lot of people believe. But you know, I did actually forgive the guy in the relationship, which I probably shouldn't have even bothered because he kept doing the same thing again or in different ways. You know what I mean? So, or some of it he didn't repeat, but he just kept doing things that weren't good, right? So it's like how you know, like I read a quote earlier on in the week, like, you know, don't forgive so much that you know, you basically accept disrespect. Very intellectual, wise and knowledgeable, you know. I remember before I was with him, like I did a Make Money Make Cash episode and it was with Lisa Schermerhorn. She's actually in a movie that should be out by now, I think. And the episode I did with her is called In Every Belief is a Lie because that's her book. And it's all about the lies we tell ourselves, of negative self-talk and things like that, and what other people say about us that isn't actually true a lot of the time or at all, right? It's someone else's story. It's not our story. And so what was the point of where I was trying to go with this? Yeah, I'm like, where are you trying to go with it, Sandra? I'm too in love with myself at the moment with being kind and caring towards myself that I forgot my point now. But oh yes, I know my point. Lisa said that you are very knowledgeable and wise. Basically, she said, you know, like because I'm young in this life, like I've gone backwards and become younger. The older and birth certificate age I've got, the younger I've become, which is great. But in terms of my soul, in terms of spirituality, I've been here a long time. I believe I believe I've been reincarnated multiple times throughout my life, a lot of times. So actually, my soul is like it's young now in this present time, but my soul has been through a lot of years, hundreds and hundreds of years. I believe that. That's what I believe. Doesn't matter if you don't believe it. It's fine. You know, you can think I'm crazy if you want, but it's fine. Like the crazy ones are the ones who change the world. Remember that. And so yeah, I'm just glad to be my kind of crazy and happy again. So you know, the Diary Confessions review I got, you know, of saying that it makes them feel seen. That was so important. And don't forget, you know, like this book, I got the Kindle edition out the day I split up officially with my ex, and the paperback the day after. And during that week, like the first 4 days, well, the day I split with him and the next 3 days after that, it went to #1 hot new release on Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk, a bestseller in multiple categories on both. Get a copy, by the way, if you haven't already got a copy. It's a really insightful read because it's got 78 life lessons. So it's not just my personal story. It's helping you to learn about life, love, relationships, and what you deserve through my own story. Right. So yeah, it's on Amazon. So I've been really excited, today, and I've got some lovely comments recently on YouTube. Like this channel now has had over 800,000 views. Recently it had like 41,000 just in 28 days. You can see the post and the communities tab about that. 800,000 views it's gone over, but just having over 41,000 in 28 days. Could I have done that if I was with my ex? No, because I was miserable in the end with him. He wasn't a good guy for me. Just think of all the successes I've been having since I split with him. Right? I am coming back stronger. I'm coming back more triumphant for me. And I do believe it's like being my asexy superhero single self. I should have titled it Superhero Single Self, shouldn't I, really, instead of Superhero Single Artist of Life. But they're the same sort of thing, because I believe being single is an art form as well. Being happy being single is an art form, So I'm feeling good at the moment. I'm not saying that I'm completely over the grief or anything like that. I'm not saying that I'm still not going to have periods of crying sometimes. I have had that this week. But I am feeling stronger in myself, and I've been explaining to you, some of the reasons why that is. I feel empowered more. I feel happier in my home, so I can stay in my home more now. And, I do feel that I'm being more productive. I feel like I'm taking back control of my life, and I'm actually making strides in it. I'm actually moving forward. So, yeah, I feel a little bit sad now. I said I'm not saying I'm just over the grief all of a sudden. I'm like, what? Sometimes when we talk about stuff like that, it brings the sadness back. So it's not a good idea, but we still have to do the grief. We still have to do the work. So, you still have to work on yourself. Otherwise, you'll still get the same problems. So I don't think, like with dating relationships, I still need to work on that aspect of myself, even if I'm not in a relationship. I still need to learn relationship skills, dating skills. I still need that input. I still need to learn better ways of doing things in that respect, because I'm not saying that I'm going to be single forever, although I might very well be single forever, because at the moment I definitely don't want to be in a relationship. And at the moment I do feel that being in a relationship, it's like kryptonite for me. It's like, I don't know what it is, but when I'm in a relationship, probably because I'm not choosing the right people, is that, guys, it's almost like I get lost when I'm in a relationship. It's like I lose my identity. And I know that's partly on me because, it means that I'm doing something wrong if I'm losing my own identity when I'm getting into a relationship. And so that's stuff I need to work on. But I tell you what, being single, I'm a lot happier being single. I even said this to my ex in the last conversation I had with him on the phone, that I'm actually happier being single. Like, I was happy with you, but not anymore, and this is something, well, he knows the reasons why. So I am glad I had the guts to actually say that to him. And I'm glad I felt that at the time. And I have felt a sense of relief today that I haven't, that I am freer now, that I am able to build my self-esteem up and self-worth, because it was going down when I was with him, honestly. I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm not saying that at all, because I've just said that when I get into a relationship, I feel like I'm losing my identity, which that is partly on me. You know what I mean? I take responsibility for that. But, I know that that person was like not being nice to me in the end, and the way they left things was not good. I'm not saying it's all their fault. I don't want harm to them or anything like that. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm helping you to understand how I'm seeing things differently now. So instead of self-blaming, I don't blame myself for someone else putting me down. I don't blame myself for someone else, like I go to them and they shut down. I don't blame myself for their behavior, right? And I know my worth more now. I can see my worth a lot more. Doesn't mean to say I didn't do anything wrong in the relationship. Doesn't mean to say that at all, right? There's stuff I can always improve on. And like I said, if I lose my identity in that way, and like I found it hard to get all my work done, Like I am much more productive as a single person. I'm much more powerful. I'm much more stronger. But then I've always thought that for like years now. And then it like poses the question, why do you ever want to get into a relationship then in the first place? If you know you're single, it's because I am a hyper romantic. I find it difficult because of the romantic side of me, and the romantic side does have needs, and that's kind of hard to navigate. At the moment, my single my singledom and my freedom of being single is far more important than romantic needs. At the moment, I'm like, you can park that, Sandra. You can park your romantic needs, darling, because you don't need to worry about that. It's much better to focus on your career and your health this year and everything else, your books you want to do. I need to put structure back into my life because, for quite a while, I felt like it's been kryptonite. I felt like I've been struggling. I felt like I've been like stabbed with a load of kryptonite or something. I've been slowly like it's been so eating away at me. And like, what I mean? I feel like I don't know what the word, I'm looking for a specific word. People help me out here. It's almost like, you've got some sort of, I don't want to say it because it might not sound very nice. You've got some I don't know how to say it. It's like you've got some disadvantage. Like I said, like I do actually have disabilities, but it's like you've got another disability, if you know what I mean. Like it's like you've been disabled. You've been stopped from being able to do stuff, and it's because obviously I do have huge anxiety, and and all the upset and the grief is brought back past traumas and triggers. And so, it's clearly there's stuff in my past that I do need to work on, which I didn't know. I thought I got it okay. I thought everything was okay. I was kind of like, like my, I'd done enough work on myself to be okay to move forward with that. But clearly there's still some work that needs to be done on that, which is going to be a bit upsetting, I guess. And that's going to be difficult. But at the moment, I'm focusing on building my own confidence, building my own self-esteem. And I'm just like, using like affirmations, using motivational videos as a tool for helping me to progress in my, using like the fact I'm calmer now. I am calmer, and the fact I'm more comfortable in my own home again, which means I can be more productive. When it's sunny outside, I've wanted to just escape and go outside, to be honest. But now I'm like, no, Sandra, you've got work to do, darling. Work to do, because the more productive you are, the more you get back on track, the more you can get sorted with systems and procedures, and the more organized you can get, the more efficient you can get. Therefore, you can have a richer life, and you can feel better because I can write more books. Like I keep coming up with more and more book ideas since I've become single, more diary confessions books. And do you know something? There's one thing that I thought while I was in the relationship. I'm like, how am I going to be able to write any more diary confessions book when I've got my guy now? Because I thought he was a guy I was going to be with for the rest of my life. And so obviously, like I'd looked for this Indian soulmate for like 10 years, and it led me to him, which I falsely thought was him. And and that's ended now. And but I'm thinking, okay, you had a relationship with an Indian guy. It wasn't good. It didn't end well, but you had some good times, in the beginning. If you had a good Indian guy that was persistent and consistent and actually being genuine and honest, then that might have been a whole different story, right? But that wasn't the case. That's okay. Like I'm like, it's not okay to lie and deceive. I'm not saying that's okay, but what I'm saying is I'm going to be okay, right? I'm not going to let that person stop me. In fact, this is making me stronger because I'm more determined now to succeed. I'm like, right, okay. I remember he said, you're really strong and I'm weak. And I'm like, yes, you underestimate me. You really underestimate me. You might have brought me to tears. You might have brought me to my hands and knees, and upset and pain and so much trauma triggers and so much like devastation. You might have reduced me to grief, which is a good thing to grieve. You might have let out loads of past demons. You might have really penetrated my heart and my soul to the deepest depths of despair. But I'm telling you what, I will rise even stronger from this. Why? Because I've got it in me to be stronger. I have it in me to be strong. I have a masculine energy about me, actually. And when I lean into my masculine energy, it's like I'm on fire, baby, right? Fire. Okay. So I see this as the breakthrough I've needed to change my life for the better. But I have to keep reminding myself, Sandra, this is a change of life. You cannot sit on your laurels. You have to change your life. You have to change yourself so that you become stronger in your body, you become stronger in your mind, you become stronger in your soul and in your heart and in your emotions. The emotions one is harder for me. The heart one is harder for me because it's linked to past traumas, which I need to work on. But I'm getting stronger. My body feels stronger today. My body feels stronger today. I'm able to sit more in like the Buddha position. I'm able to start doing weird things like this again. Like be able to put my foot to my face. I remember when I first got with him, when I was on doing video calls, I used to do that. Just to say, oh yeah, look how strong I am, because I'm very flexible. You know, just because I've got disabilities, I'm a bigger girl. People don't expect that. They're like, oh, what? Yeah, because I'm not skinny, right? But I'm still hugely flexible. And so I'm able to like move my foot right up here, even though I've had rib problems and back damage, which has caused my rib problems. But for some reason, I can do that again today. I'm like, I don't know why I can do that. Probably because I'm feeling better, because emotional pain is linked to physical pain. So when I'm in a less emotional pain, when I'm feeling freer today, when I'm feeling relieved today, I'm like, thank God you're not in that relationship anymore, Sandra. Right? This guy was going to hold you back, right? Right? So let him go off and do his empire, or whatever he wants to do, right? Because you are here to help asexuals go. Remember your mission. And, you know, I've got like diary confessions book. I like yesterday, I was in the middle of my legal paperwork and all of a sudden I'm jotting down different diary confessions books. You know, I've got a couple more on the go anyway, because I'm using these experiences to help, you know. And so this is my first diary book that's come out, but I've got other ones, you know, that I'm using. You know, one of them is going to be one or two. Well, there's like, I started working on a diary confessions book before I met my ex, so I'm already part way through that anyway. And then there's another one that goes with that, which is how to get over heartache and heartbreak, which, you know, like, I know that I'm not fully over it yet, right? And sometimes it takes months, weeks, years, or whatever. But, you know, if I can be stronger and I can come out the other side, I still want to write that book to show you what I'm doing over the weeks. That's why you'll notice in this YouTube channel for free, I'm teaching you and I'm showing you what I'm doing every week and my journey of grieving to recovery from heartbreak. You know, it's not always easy to do that. It's quite hard, because the more I talk about it, the more it brings back upset and pain. So eventually I'm going to have to just cut it off and stop talking about that so much, because it's going to get to a point where it's not going to be probably so constructive for me, maybe. But because I'm feeling stronger in myself, it's good that I can kind of like start talking about this without getting totally upset. When I think about being upset, then I become more upset, right? But when I talk about being strong, it's amazing, because like I'm feeling more calm inside my body today. I'm feeling more elated. I'm feeling more high off being single, which is what I need to be. If you're high off being single and you love being single so much and you're with yourself all the time, reminding yourself of how good your friggin' single life is, I mean, your dopamine shoots up for yourself, which is what we want. We've got to redirect our dopamine hits, getting them from other people. We've got to redirect them inwards to ourselves so that we're frigging feeling effing good, right? And that we're taking our own selves to the next level. We're soaring on high because of how good we frigging are and feeling we are inside, you know? And you know, I think he underestimated how strong I am. I think he underestimated that. But I am really strong. I'm coming back stronger. Despite the fact that I get very upset, because I'm a very emotional person. I'm an empath. I care and love people dearly. I have so much love to give the right guy. And I think that's why I do lose some of my identity sometimes, because I do kind of like make him the center of my world a lot of the time. I do make him a priority in my life. I do care about the guys so much. I do have loads of love to give, right? And some guys, they prefer women who treat them like shit. Excuse my language. Because if women treat them like shit, then they're like, oh, I got to keep chasing her. oh, like she's not putting any pressure on me to do anything. So that's great. And I just can like go and cruise along, and, and like, the women could use him as a frigging doormat. And he'd be like, oh, well, it's fine. She's great. I'm like, really? Okay, right. Well, I can't be that type of girl that goes around using a guy as a doormat just so you feel more attracted to me or want to stay with me, right? I'd rather be single forever than deal with those stupid games, right? Because I love with all my heart, right? And I do care about the person I'm with. And I do like quality time with the person, right? And if that's not what the guy wants, because he gets too used to me because I happen to be there because I do care, and starts taking me for granted, then eventually that's it, right? I'm done. And some guys, they love the chase, and they love the fact of a woman keeping them at arm's length because it makes them feel like destabilized. This is a tactic used in dating. It's used on women, and particularly, and some women do use it with men, right? They destabilize the relationship on purpose. So there's always a push and pull. Only I've got so used to that now being a bad thing that eventually I'm like, like I was in the last relationship. I'm like, this is not sustainable. I'm not feeling good. I'm just feeling anxiety induced, right? Because it's no good for someone like with anxiety who does that. You know what I mean? And I don't like playing games. I'm not into playing flaming school games, right? I can't be bothered with it. If someone is not grateful for me still being in their life, fine. I don't need them in mine, right? I'm happy on my own because I'm a lot happier on my own now being single, because I'm just thinking constantly of the possibilities. Like, look at this life you're creating, Sandra. Look at all the benefits of it. Look at all the books you're going to be able to write because you're not doing dating sites anymore. Look at all the books you're going to be able to write because you haven't got this guy anymore. Look at all the books you're going to have, all the wild adventures. Like, look at all this experience that you've gone through over last week. It's enough to fill two or even more books up with. Do you know what I mean? So it's just so good that I'm single again, because I'm feeling such more of relief now. I'm like, wow, your stress and anxiety is reducing. You're not like, you've not got this thing going on where you feel like you can't do anything. Like it's just destabilizing it. Like I got to a point where so anxiety induced in that relationship, I was holding my tummy and crunching on the bed because it's just like, I didn't know where I stood with the person, and they weren't, they were shutting down, and I could list a number of things, right? But you get the point, right? It doesn't matter in the terms of like, I'm not in with that person anymore. Good luck to them, I say. Hope they're going to work on themselves like I'm going to work on myself. And so, that's it. It's done. But I'm just so happy that today I'm on such a high of being single. And I wanted to record this video live for you when you can see how high I am. Because I'm not saying this is going to last forever right now. Like, grief comes in waves, right? You get really upset and then you're like, all right for a time. Then you get really upset again. But I'm glad at the moment I'm on, today it's been a trajectory of up, up, up. Like, wow. And tomorrow's my self-date day. So I have got to practice in every Sunday now. I need to go on self-date, usually to the cinema. Right? I'm like, you just pick a film, Sandra, and you go into the cinema and go and watch a movie. Even though I watched a movie yesterday at home and want to date. Because when I watch a movie, I think that's why I'm feeling so good as well, because I de-stress. It's a very good stress reliever for me. My body completely relaxes a lot more, and I'm just breathing a sigh of relief, and I'm just going into the movie. And I'm thinking about Disneyland Paris. Oh, I've been playing a lot of Disneyland Paris music as well this week. Like, a lot of it. There's a really good one, Get Ready to Ride. It's like a big song from Disneyland Paris, and it's all about looking forward to the future and thinking about achieving your dreams and actually achieving them. So all this positive stuff in my head is really helping me. Do you know what I mean? It's really helping me to see a better future for myself, a good future for myself. I feel like the exercises I'm doing, although they aren't a ton of exercises, I'm only kind of doing one lot of exercises usually a day. I feel that they are making my body stronger again. You know what I mean? Because I absolutely hate the fact I do have disabilities and have to rely on other people. Like, my best friend is really good, but I do hate the fact I have to rely on someone else to help me out sometimes. I can't, like, it's just a nightmare. But I mean, I did do housework a few days ago, like hoovering and washing up. That was a nightmare. That was like really bad pain, excruciating pain doing that. It took me like 2 hours to do the cleaning, like an hour and 40 minutes to do the washing up. Like, it would probably take someone 30 minutes to do what I did in 2 hours, because, like, I have fibromyalgia. It does hurt, that type of thing. And, I shouldn't be doing that. They're like, they've said don't do stuff like that, the walking center and the physio, because it aggravates it at the moment. But yeah, it is what it is. So that was quite tough. But by actually like moving forward in my life, by thinking about all the books I want to write, I get really excited by thinking, oh gosh, Sandra, you can be even more into your passion this year. But health is a really big, important thing to me. I'm doing the Love Life Club to improve my dating relationships, knowledge and know-how, because it's important. It's important life skills you learn in that club. Very good community, ongoing coaching and training every week. There's like coaching or training or both. And it was just phenomenal, the coaching they did this week. I didn't go live or have anything they coached me on this last week, but this week that's ending tomorrow, if you end your weeks on Sunday, so this week. But I've had it the previous 2 weeks, but this week Matthew's brother was coaching someone who got a very difficult situation, and it was absolutely amazing the way he was able to show her what was actually going on in her relationship, like the blind spots that she didn't really want to acknowledge, if you know what I mean, to help her out, to help her see the situation for what it actually was. And so it was incredible. I can't divulge personal information, obviously. That's pretty much all I can say. But the level of support is great. Sometimes doing the Love Life Club, I need a break from, because it is kind of quite difficult emotionally. It's like talking about breakups, it's talking about like a lot of relationships that aren't actually healthy, and what should be healthy, what should actually happen. I'm surprised really at how many high quality women that are in Matthew's Love Life Club. These are not people who are low quality. These are women who are very often very successful in other areas of their life. They're very beautiful souls. They're very kind. They're very caring. They're very empathetic. They care for one another in the community. It seems like there's a lot of good women that guys treat like shit, and it's like, in a way it feels it doesn't feel good that guys do that. It feels good to know that there are other people in the same or similar situation to what you've been in or are in currently, if you're currently in that type of scenario, and that it doesn't just happen to you. But it's like, my God, why are all these guys treating these women like shit? It's horrible. You know what I mean? You look at it, you're like thinking, my God. And it's easier to see when someone's treating someone else badly than it is when you're in the situation. When you're in a relationship yourself, you can't see all the bad that person's doing to you. You overlook things, you overlook the red flags, because you love that person, because you care about the person, you want it to work. And if you genuinely care about the person and you love them, you kind of like want to make it work. But do they love you back? How are they treating you? So it's very interesting. There's also some guys in Matthew Hussey's club. They're not all women, the majority of women, but there's like a guy in there saying, I'm here to prove myself for being a better partner in the future to someone. And it's just incredible. Guys stepping up to the plate saying, hey, I need to be a better partner in the future. What can I do? So I just think this is amazing. So investing in Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club is one of the best things I've done for myself. It's increasing my knowledge, increasing my awareness of what goes on in relationships. And like they say in the Love Life Club, when you watch a movie, you don't see behind the scenes. You don't see all the hard things day to day. You don't see that two different people have got to come together and mingle their lives, you know what I mean? And got to work out how to get along together on a day-to-day basis, and how they organize their space and their time together and everything like that, and how they deal with conflict. You don't see that in like romantic movies and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So that can be really hard. And so a lot of the time in TV and in movies and stuff, they don't show the actual side of working through a relationship. That stuff is like cut out, if you know what I mean. So the Love Life Club works on those actual every day-to-day things, and it's just incredible. Matthew's brother is still actually single. So that's really interesting, because Matthew's brother, Stephen Hussey, he's an incredible guy, super intelligent, very intellectual guy, very, very emotionally intelligent as well, but he's still single because he hasn't found the right person yet. Matthew Hussey himself was single for well, he's married now, but I think he's been with his the person he's married to now, I think he's been with her like 4 years, but I think he was like single for the best part of 10 years before that, and he's been 17 years, sorry, a dating relationships coach. Like, he's the top love coach in the world, over 3 million subscribers. So I feel so honored and blessed to be in his Love Life Club. Best investment I ever made. They've got something called Matthew AI, which you can ask Matthew AI anything you want, because he's got Matthew's brain in him. Like, so Matthew's used all his courses and retreats knowledge and everything to put into Matthew AI, and you can talk to Matthew AI as your personal 24/7 love coach, which is really good. But I also ask Matthew AI business stuff. So I was getting Matthew AI to help explain to me what I need in my press kit. Like, can you please tell me the components of a press kit? Just the 2-page one, because I've got a big page one, but not the 2-page one. So he's helping me with that. I'm like, yes. I doubt other people use him for business, but I use this for my business as well. I'm like, this is great, having my own personal assistant for my business as well as my love life coach, all in one. Business and love, two of my favorite things to talk about. But yes, although relationships and dating seems to be kryptonite for my soul, so I'm just happy that I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more like my superhero self. Don't forget to get a copy of my diary confessions I spoke about earlier, but don't get a copy of my fibromyalgia self-help handbook, because this is my superhero book where I'm Ace Fibro Girl, and it's autobiographical. How to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier like a superhero rock star. So I feel like I'm getting more of my rock star power back. I'm realizing my worth. I'm starting to do much more positive self-talk now. I'm starting to see my kind and caring attitude and my love, and I cannot thank you enough on this channel, because having your positive comments really helps. So I had the Diary Confessions actual book review come on Amazon. That felt fantastic. I had someone saying they're proud of me for getting over 800,000 views. Obviously, that's not just me, that's you here in the community. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be here doing this channel and having all those views, you know what I mean? You're just amazing. I love the community here, and Yuli, a shout out to Yuli as well, who said something really nice about another good movie review. She loving my movie review, she is. So that was really good. It says actual Yuli's comment was rock on with them good movie reviews, Sandra. So yeah, I was really, really pleased about that. I thought it was really lovely. So that made me really smile. I love all your positive comments and stuff. So yeah, I've been talking to a few more people in message lately as well, females actually. So that's helpful, because I want to talk to more females lately, because it's like I don't want to get attracted too much to guys anymore. Do I still get attracted to guys? Yes. And what do I think of Indian guys? I still have attraction. My top attraction for Indian guys. I listen to Bollywood music nearly all the time, and actually it makes me really happy. That's another reason why I'm quite high off being single, because I'm listening to Bollywood music, not only Bollywood. I said I'm listening to the Disney music as well. Get Ready to Ride, for example, but I am listening to Bollywood hits. There's a guy called DJ Rav UK, and I'm actually connected to him on Instagram. Well, I message him sometimes on Instagram, like, where are you playing at? He plays in London, but the clubs that he plays at, as far as I can tell, they don't have they don't allow solo entry. So unless I can find someone to go with me, then I can't go to the clubs. And obviously I need to be in a hotel up there at the time. So he's really good. You can check him out on YouTube if you want, DJ Rav UK. He's really good at music. He's not always good at getting back to me in messages though, but he is a really busy guy, obviously. Because I said when I went to Oxford, no, not Oxford, sorry. I said to him when I went to, because I didn't know him then. I said to him when I went to London last time, I said, is there any clubs that you know of with like Bollywood parties or clubs? I think I said clubs in general around the area I was staying in, but he never got back to me, which was a bit disappointing. But I know he's really busy because he is a DJ. That's what he does for a living, as well as putting loads of Bollywood mashup hits on YouTube. I would love to actually go to one of his events in real life, because it's seriously high octane energy stuff. And I listen to it for hours and it really makes me feel so good. It's like a lot of my favorite Bollywood music. So it's quite interesting, because when I was with my ex, I probably played a lot of Bollywood music when I was with him, more than he would ever play, if he ever played it. Because I was like busting out some Bollywood tunes, because I really love Bollywood music. I really genuinely love Bollywood music. That's why, another reason why, I kind of still like Indian guys, but I'm worn off them at the moment. I'm like, you can like Indian guys, Sandra. Maybe you'll end up kissing some in the future in clubs, but that's it. Remember, do not get involved. Not for the foreseeable future anyway. Remember this. You've got to make sure you focus on your single life and your career from now on, your health this year. Health is a huge important. I'm seeing a homeopath for other things. Like I keep still getting rashes on my legs. I keep still like intensely itching on them and stuff like that. I keep getting rashes come up on my arms and stuff. So, I had this problem back in February. But there was like lumps and spots and stuff with it. So it's got better than what it was. I'm still got my eye cyst, which I'm trying to get down. It's lowered. It's not as bad as it was, I don't think. So, my health is a really strong focus, but, physical health at the moment, emotional health, mental and spiritual, kind of all of it this year. I want to really like try and help myself as much as possible to get better. Because, I don't want to get into a relationship again at the moment. I really don't want that. I want to stay single forever, maybe. I'm saying maybe because, I do still have some like idea about a relationship, but you know what I mean? It's like the practicality of a relationship for me is very hard because I can't really sleep in front of the person. Like the guy my ex did stay over at my place, but it's like I would get 2.5 hours sleep like with him because I can't really sleep in front of someone. It's very, very difficult. That's not sustainable. It's not good. That's why I prefer to live separately, really, and have separate homes. But you know what I mean? But I just love being single at the moment. I'm really strong at being single. I feel like I get my personal power back when I'm single, when I finally realize, God, Sandra, how much can you achieve by being a single person? How much can you be empowered? How much self-positive talk can you give yourself? And you haven't got someone else criticizing you, putting you down and moaning about your anxiety and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I have anxiety, but when I'm on my own, I manage it really well. Right? Because I don't have someone else doing something in my life like that with additional stress and anxiety producing stuff. Because you know what I mean? Like if I'm with someone who's not consistent in their actions and their words and not consistent, period, you know, it's kind of like, not good behavior. And when they have a shift and change in behavior and attitude, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not good for me, right? I need persistency, consistency, stability, right? And I can give that to myself when I'm on my own. And if a person can't give me that in a relationship, I'm far better off being single. I don't want to be on a ship that's rocking backwards and forwards all the time. I want to be on a nice ship that enhances my sparkly personality, that helps me to feel empowered to be Sandra Bellamy, that makes me feel alive to be me. I love being me. I do like spending time with myself because it's like, wow, it's so exciting, Sandra. You're you love Disney, you're like a Disney princess, you love all the Disney movies, well, not all of them, but a lot of them. And like you can go out to the cinema, you're self-dating, you can listen to powerful music, you can spend hours doing your work that you love, you can spend hours writing. You've got your own beautiful home here. Even a taxi driver said how lovely my home here is. I actually live in a really nice area. Well, very wealthy area next to, if you want to know. But I'm blessed to live here. And, and I just think, wow, you've got all this beauty around you. I'm feeling a lot more grateful for the things I have, like, like my home, and I'm feeling better. And in general, I'm just feeling a lot more happier, a lot more high vibe. I'm like, wow, this is just a distinct shift and change. And I'm so proud of you, Sandra, because you've been really struggling. I'm not saying all the struggle's over yet because I don't necessarily think it is. And also we always struggle because if we don't struggle, we don't actually grow. Like you have to have some level of stress in your life to a certain extent, and you have to have some things that are not going right in order to be like problems that you need solving to order to grow. This is a growth period for me. It's hurt like hell, don't get me wrong. It's been one of the worst times in my life going through this breakup. It's been horrible, and I never saw it coming. Because when I say I never saw it coming, it's not that I didn't in the end see that, like, I can't, it's not sustainable to stay in that relationship when I'm not feeling good and I'm feeling so anxious and anxiety induced, and the relationship isn't good for me anymore. But when I actually got into it, I thought I could much more easily get out of it again. Like I wouldn't be so affected because I thought I'd worked on a lot of my difficulties from the past, and that, if it didn't work out, it's okay. It's kind of like no hard feelings. But it's not like that at all. And so that's been a struggle. But, like, I have to remember that he did say I am kind and caring despite his critique of me. Whatever he wants to say about me, he can say if that's what he really wants to do. But, like, I love me and I do have an anxiety condition. I have to have someone that accepts that about me, but my anxiety, I tell you, my anxiety pushes me to do things that other people can't and won't do. Because I have anxiety, it makes me stronger because it makes me have a more fearless attitude. It makes me say, oh God, I've got anxiety. Right now, what can I do to challenge myself to do something with anxiety? Like speaking at Oxford University for Blue Talks, I mean, you know what I mean? That was so anxiety inducing. I talk about that in my Diary Confessions book, by the way. I tell you behind the scenes of what that was actually like, all the anxiety inducement, how that actually felt, and what I was trying to do to help myself when nothing really was working that much. So I go behind the scenes of that and I achieved that with anxiety. And that was one of the most anxiety inducing things I've ever had to do. I'm okay speaking on camera virtually, but when it's in front of a live audience, that was harder, and not an asexual audience as well. Because I spoke at the UK Asexuality conference in 2018, that wasn't as hard. Speaking in front of a different audience that's not predominantly asexual was harder for me, you know, and they're all like loads of speakers there, you know what I mean? So it was harder. But I did it. So for me, anxiety actually pushes me to do things that I would never usually do. I don't believe if I had anxiety, I don't believe that if I didn't have anxiety, I should say, and hadn't gone through like traumas and tribulations and difficulties in my life, I don't actually think I'd be that strong today. I don't think I'd be Sandra Bellamy as you see me now. I think I'd be some sort of person who just was like, take life as it comes and not really do much with my life. I'd probably still be doing like a 9 to 5 job, probably like years ago if I hadn't got, I don't know, because obviously, a lot of my disabilities are connected to past traumas. But, what I'm saying is I'd probably just be going along in life. I wouldn't be striving for much because I'd just be like having no major issues to contend with. Well, I probably, in life, everyone has issues to contend with. But I think having anxiety, what I'm saying is pushes me more to do more in life, to be better, because I want to defy the odds. I want to say, hell yes, I did that with anxiety. Do you know how difficult that was for me? Do you know how much strength I had to muster? How much resilience I had to find the courage to actually achieve that? Do you really, honestly feel that? Because I'm telling you now, to do the Oxford University talk, I was so anxiety induced. I was really looking forward to doing the talking in the sense I definitely wanted to do it. I knew I'd go through that because when I'm determined to do something, I do it. But you'll notice that one of the major fears anyone has in life is public speaking. Most people can't do it. Corey Poirier, who's my mentor, coach, and trainer in that regard, he said that most people would rather be like, is it like more like be wanting to go to a funeral than actually speak on stage. It's more frightening to go on stage than it is to be at a funeral or something. I don't know. He talks about doing the eulogy at a funeral or something. I don't really understand it. But basically I think what he's saying is people fear public speaking more than they fear death. Right. And for me, it was really anxiety inducing. I felt like I was forcing myself to do something that my inner child didn't really want to do, but I was doing it for my own career good and because I wanted to achieve that, because I wanted to see if I could do it. Well, I know I was going to do it. Right. It was hard because my mouth was drying up as well. It was so dry and I could barely speak at one point. I'm having to use the saliva in my mouth to it's a bit gross, isn't it? To try and actually get my words out. But, I believe that strength comes from basically being stronger in and of who you are with your disabilities, with any weaknesses you might have. Yes, we have to keep improving those, to become more strengths and less weaknesses, or to work on our weaknesses so they're not as weak anymore. But, if you can get through life and you can still triumph and you can do things in spite of adversity, in spite of any disabilities you may have or health conditions, that is more power to you, right? People should be inspired by someone who can do something with disabilities or health conditions. I get inspired by people. I can't say much because of confidentiality, but there is a group I'm in, and someone in this group was revealing something they've gone through, which was to do with an illness, which is can be a illness that you could not recover from, right? And they were sharing their story, and it's like, and I've got to be careful what I say because of confidentiality, but basically a lot of us were in the group, we're like, wow, you're incredibly strong. Yet the wrong person wasn't seeing that person's strength. So the right person and people in your life will see the strength in you if you try to overcome obstacles and problems in your life, despite having health conditions, despite having disabilities. Right? If I see someone with a disability, but like, wow, they're doing some sport, or something like, I saw I think it was an Indian girl earlier, right? And in video, she has disabilities. It said in the shorts video, she has like an arm missing and she's still doing dancing. I get inspired by something like that, by her. Not because she's physically able to do dancing like loads of the other dancers on YouTube shorts, which is still dance well, right? They're still really amazing dancers that are fully bodied, fully able. But when I see her, I'm like, my God, you're actually getting out there, you're dancing and you're smiling, in spite of the fact you can only dance with one arm, obviously two legs, but one arm, and a lot of people use arms for movement in dancing, right? A smile on her face. I think she's outside and she just looks, like a beautiful person, right? Someone who is a good person for you in a relationship to be with, they will actually see your strength. And they will not use your own disabilities against your mental health problems against you. Obviously, if you've got mental health problems that result in violence, aggression, and stuff like that, you need to sort your shit out, right? You shouldn't be in a relationship if you're going to display those type of behaviors, right? But most people have some sort of mental health difficulties and problems, right? And so what I'm trying to say is if you're in a relationship with someone, but they're still they're trying to help themselves, they're trying to better their life, they're trying to do their best, then that is actually incredible strength. If I do, like this week, right, I told you it took me like 2 hours to do the cleaning, like the hoovering of my place, right? To someone else, it probably took them half an hour, right? But it's like a huge accomplishment for me to do it. I've got to move my legs because they're hurting now. It's a huge accomplishment for me to do that. And I have to praise myself. I'm like, it's good. Like, it took you ages though, so I could look at the downside, which I was feeling a bit down about at the time because it was an excruciating pain. I wished I didn't have had to do it. But the accomplishment of doing that, right, is just so much. And so, if you've got disabilities right now, and you're in a relationship that's toxic for you because they're putting you down about your disability and they're not making you feel good. They're actually making you feel worse, which is worse than your disability. I do actually talk about this in my fibromyalgia self-help handbook. I talk about, like, if you've got a partner who's actually not good about your fibromyalgia and they're putting you down about it and they're expecting you to do all this housework and stuff a person who didn't have fibromyalgia would be able to do, you have to think about changing your partner, leaving the relationship or moving out, get separate rooms or whatever, or ask them to do more housework and stuff. Because often people who've got fibromyalgia, their pain can get worse when their partner is going on saying, oh, you're just being lazy and all this lot. It's horrifying. I'm in fibromyalgia groups. And, this is what some husbands say to their wives that got fibromyalgia. Oh, you're just being lazy. I'm like, what the F? Do you know what I mean? That is not a good guy, right? A good guy would want to protect his woman, would want to be strong and be like, hey, honey, I'm okay. I can do it for you. You know what I mean? But no, some guys are like just like making people's disabilities worse, It's surprising how many people are in relationships and they've got real severe mental health problems, physical problems, irritable bowel, emotional problems. They get out of that relationship and then after some time, those symptoms and problems go away. But when they're in a relationship, they don't even realize or they don't want to acknowledge that it's actually the relationship that is having such an impact on them negatively that is causing their problems. I'm not going around saying you should put all the blame on everyone and the other person for everything. But I know that genuinely, if someone's got a lot of, for example, physical, emotional, mental problems, and they didn't have them before they got into a relationship, then they get into a relationship and their health starts deteriorating. Often it's because of the quality of that relationship. It's not good quality for them. It's not good for them. So it's actually better to live separately a lot of the time as well. So that, you know, like if you've got fibromyalgia, it's better to live separately, in my opinion, because, you know, then that person can't really get onto your case about housework and stuff when it's your own home. Right? You know what I mean? And also it's good to have your own separate place in case things don't work out. There's people whose husbands leave women because they can't actually have sex, because some people with fibromyalgia can't actually have sex because it's too painful for them. Right? And their husbands are like, oh, I'm leaving you now because I want sex. You know what I mean? That isn't actually love. Right? And it's just like really bad. But we must keep thinking positive. So there's a lot of positive things about being single, right? I can do what I want when I want. I can positively self-talk to myself, which means I can raise my own self-esteem again, raise my own self-worth. I've not got someone criticizing me and moaning to me about my anxiety. Instead, I can embrace my anxiety and use it as a tool to push my life forward, to push myself forward, to be magnificently strong and beautiful. I can do a lot of talk still on my own self with my looks. Thank God he didn't lower my worth about my looks. I'm very good for my looks now. I know that's something that he did, even though he said he's better looking than me, which is horrendous and hurt me a lot, and it is disgusting. What type of guy says that to his girlfriend? What type of guy says that to anyone? An insecure guy, clearly. But you know what I mean? It's like, what goes on in his mentality to say that to someone? Do you know what I mean? It's just like weird shit. But never mind. The next day I told him, you're not better looking than me. Like, in his dreams. You know what I mean? And so I said, I don't compare you to me. I said, you're the best looking guy for me in the world, because he was when I was with him, right? And so, you know, but there'll be other guys, I'm sure, that'll be gorgeous. You know what I mean? I did kiss a gorgeous guy at Oxford in the club. He was really good looking. But yes, I did say that my ex was the most gorgeous guy in the world for me, because when I'm in a relationship with someone, usually they automatically are the best looking one for me anyway. It's really weird. Apparently that's not the same for everyone. That's not the same for other people. I'm like, okay. But like, I'm not with him anymore, right? And the fact is, if his character isn't good, which is what Matthew Hussey talks about and teaches us a lot in the Love Life Club, it's all about character. It doesn't matter if this is the most gorgeous looking guy or person you've ever met in your entire life. If their character isn't good, this is not a good guy for you. And, you know, if the person is not being good for you, then that should turn you off. It shouldn't turn you on. Like, if there's red flags, that should turn you off. If a guy is putting you down or belittling you, not making you feel good, that should turn you off. If a guy doesn't want to spend as much time with you as you do with him, that should turn you off. Right? And, you know, it should turn you off the characteristic traits. Deception, that should be a turn off. Lies, that should be a turn off. Right? Making not, you know, like saying things that put, you know, like saying he's better looking than me is a put down. There's no two doubts about that, you know. But I'm glad the next day I told him, you're not better looking than me. Oh, I meant that. And I still mean that now. He can say what he likes. I don't care if other people, whatever other people think about him and me. That's my personal opinion. And I'm sticking to it. You know, I like my energy, you know, I like my vivaciousness. I like my bubbliness. I like the way I look. I do get, I've trained my brain to be a lot more attracted to myself over the years. So, you know, I'm going down the high street feeling really good about my body and myself. I actually so far have been a more confident person as a bigger girl than I was when I was not so big. I like the fact I've got big features, if you know what I mean. It goes with my big personality. I like the fact I've got a voluptuous body shape. I actually don't think skinny girls look that attractive. I'm not into women, right? But if I see a woman on YouTube, for example, who's bigger, and I see a YouTuber who's a skinny girl, I automatically think that the woman who's bigger and has a more voluptuous figure for women representation is better in terms of what I think's good looking than a girl who's skinny. You know, I'm not saying that skinny girls aren't good looking. I mean, it's weird me even saying this because I'm not into women. But what I'm trying to say is, in terms of actual, like, in terms of being attractive, I actually think a lot of the time that women that are more voluptuous are actually, in general, more attractive than women who are really skinny. That's my personal opinion. Because I just, like, if you like look back at the paintings years ago, right? The Roman bath paintings, you know, the women, I don't like nudity and stuff, but I have seen pictures like that. For example, when I was researching the Asexual Guide to Sex book, which I've got to finish this year, I've got to get that done. It will be 5 years next month since I started it. So I've got to get that finished, right? But I had to do some research, and I ended up seeing like women in Roman baths with like pictures, you know, like artist pictures, not actual pictures of real women, like drawn. Well, obviously there must have been real women at some point, but they're artist drawing, which I don't like nudity in that. But when I saw the voluptuous figures of the woman, do you know what I mean? And the fact they have got a belly, the fact they have got like hips and stuff, and then I see skinny girls, I just think that the voluptuous person is more visually appealing than a really skinny person showing her ribs, for example. That's just my personal opinion. But you know, I seem to be getting more used to guys with muscles these days, which is really weird for me though. So I've noticed a shift in me in that way, because I used to think guys with muscles are really not good looking. They're like an armadillo. They're really hard. I'm not really into that at all. But for some reason lately, I think it's since my ex actually, I pay more attention to a guy's chest, because at that time when I was with my ex, I did like his chest, although he wasn't really muscly. But for some reason, I tend to like see a guy's chest more now, and I'm like, oh, he goes to the gym, that's nice. And I'm like, wow, that's a bit of a shift, Sandra. So maybe if you were in a relationship, you could be in a relationship with a guy who's got muscles, possibly, which I didn't think I could before. So, you know, that's a shift, because with the Love Life Club, Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, what we have to do is we have to do different things to get different results. So we have to start thinking differently. We have to think more about character traits and instant attraction. Because I am a hyper romantic, I do get romantically attracted very quickly, because I have a strong aesthetic attraction for foreign guys. I do get that, right? And that can blur your sense of reality to what's actually good for you. Because it's no good if they're the most hottest guy in the world if they've got a crap personality, if they're lying, deceiving, not persistent or consistent in their actions and their words. Their actions don't match their words don't match their action. You know, if they're not being kind and caring and loving and giving, if they're not communicating effectively with you, not helping you to feel happy in the relationship anymore, you know, if they're not persistent and consistent and have overall good behavior with you, you know, that this isn't good for a relationship. And so I'm so glad that, you know, like, there's a lot of practical advice, logical advice with Matthew's Love Life Club. And it actually shows you, you know, like, this is what a lot of people are attracted to. They're attracted to looks and the chemistry. This doesn't actually make a good relationship. You know, they talk about you could have a person that's not that good looking, but, you know, you go to love them because of the type of character they have. And they become the most love, you know, person you love most in the world. And it becomes a beautiful relationship because of their character traits more than anything else. So you've got to go for character traits, and you've got to put yourself in a lot of different places in reality. So Matthew's like doesn't plug dating sites. It's like you can use dating sites as an add-on tool to finding someone for a relationship, but you shouldn't use that as your main focus. What Matthew encourages us to do is to go out to different places, do different things that we never usually do. So for example, this in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to Tech Exeter event. So I haven't been to one of their events for a long time. So it's predominantly a group, you know, well, it is for tech people really. But I have an interest in tech because I build my own websites but can't code. I use technology in my writing business, if you like. So I you know, like, I automate some posts. For example, whenever I post a video like this on YouTube, I have a social media auto posting tool that then posts this video out to other places like my Facebook groups, my Facebook pages, and things like that. So that's like using tech, right? I have an interest in tech. And so I'm going to an event next week, and I think it's a week after as well. One of them's late, well, one of them's in the evening, and they got speakers. It's not usually something I go to see. I went years ago, but the topics seemed more interesting to me years ago. But these topics are something that I wouldn't usually go and see, but I'm like, go and do it, Sandra, because Matthew says you've got to do different things that you wouldn't usually do before. Get out of your comfort zone. So I'm like, okay, just go. So that's like for 2 hours in the evening. And then they've got like a morning thing for 2 hours, which means I've got to get up really early. It starts at 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh my Lord. I'm like, are you gonna? I'm like, yes, you've got to do it, Sandra, because you need to do different things. So I'm really pushing myself to do different things. And, I'm trying to do something different each month if I can, because that's really encouraged in the Love Life Club. And it's just good for my morale. It's good for my self-esteem. And when you find that you can challenge yourself to do different things, it makes your life a lot more exciting. The whole point we need to do when we're doing, this is coming from me now, when we're doing a dating and relationships detox, is we have to make our life more exciting on our own and more filled with dopamine on our own. Because don't forget, I've not just finished with the ex, I've actually been doing a dopamine detox from dating sites, which has been really hard because I've been on dating sites for 10 years. I've been having guys in my inbox for 10 years, 10 years of validation from them, if you like, 10 years of all different guys, 10 years talking to Indian guys, in my inbox all the time. Gorgeous, beautiful Indian guys. I still get attracted to them, a variety of them, and so it is hard doing that. But I'm like, okay, you've got to replace it with your own dopamine thing. Because what I did learn from doing research is that dopamine isn't bad. It's only if you're getting it from external sources that are bad for you that makes it bad. But in general, you still need dopamine. You still need feel-good chemicals. Otherwise, you'll feel low. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be feeling low. You want to be feeling good, right? So it's good to put your own dopamine in your life as much as possible without relying on external sources for it. So when you do things that you enjoy, like dancing, watching movies, obviously you don't want to be getting addicted to movies. Don't get addicted to porn, for example. But if you're putting good movies into your life, if they're making you feel good, and whatever you do, you need to put positive things in. If you're going to get addicted to something, get addicted to positive stuff. Get addicted to positive affirmations. Get addicted to positive self-talk. Get addicted to talking to yourself in a beautiful way. Get addicted to saying how flaming good looking you are for yourself. Get addicted to saying how strong you are, how positive you are, how amazing you are, how incredible you are, what a incredible year you're going to have. We're only in May, right? There's over half the year left. Just imagine the crazy stories, the amazing love stories, the self-love stories we can still have this year. Just imagine all the beautiful things we can do as a solo artist of life. There's a frigging lot, right? I got so many hours back right now because I was on dating sites. I'm finally thinking I can get my actual schedule sorted more. I do, because I'm so creative, I do have this urge to do certain things and change my schedules around. I have things I do every day kind of on autopilot, more like now, like the affirmations and stuff and the health products I take. But it's kind of like I still kind of need some flexibility sometimes to just be able to go off on a tangent. Because if something I need to comes to mind that I need to write down for a book, I've got to go and write it down. You know what I mean? So, I just think all this stuff is good. Feeling strength within yourself from being single is amazing. I know now what it's like for me to be strong as a single person again. But I was really disconnected from myself for a while because of that relationship. I was very disconnected from myself. I couldn't even remember what my life was like before I met my ex. And of course, I can't go back to that life now. I don't want to be active on dating sites anymore. For me, that's a waste of time. It's like you spent 10 years. They led you to that Indian guy. Yes, you can technically say you had a relationship with an Indian guy now. That's enough, right? Maybe your future guy isn't Indian, or maybe he still is, or maybe there just is no future relationship guy, because the best relationship to have is with yourself anyway. And if I'm more stronger in myself, what is a point in me getting into a relationship where my confidence usually goes down in them? There isn't really, is there? It's better just for me to kiss guys in clubs if I'm going to do that. I don't even think about doing that so much at the moment because I'm focused on other things, right? Like getting my health sorted. I still need to improve my back and my ribs so it's a fully better. Still a work in progress, I've still got pain there, and it's still it's still uncomfortable. I mostly have to sleep on my back still. Turning over my ribs still hurt. So, I just think it's brilliant opportunity when you're single and you feel such relief about all the hours you've got back. When I say you, general, so I'm feeling relief. I'm no longer in that relationship, which ended up being toxic for me. Relief that I've got all my time back to myself now. I don't have to worry about doing video calls every night and eating into my work time with no appreciation for that. And a person can't be asked, to be on time some of the time. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, well, just wait for me. It's like, no, I'm not being a doormat. Maybe you want some other woman who's a frigging doormat who'll wait for you for half an hour because she's got nothing better to do in her life. But I've got a mission, and that's to help asexuals and my mission is to get asexuality recognized as a sexual orientation in its own right throughout the globe, so no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. And my books are my lasting legacy. They'll be helping and saving and changing lives long after I'm gone off planet Earth. Right? That's a big mission. Right? I don't want someone wasting my time if they're not going to value my time and be on time. I don't want someone wasting my time. You know what I mean? Now I can just soar to new heights because I have a heart. What I do, I'm not driven by money. He was very driven by money, especially in the beginning. But I'm not driven by money. I like money, but I am driven to truly help people and change their lives. When I die, I want to be thinking, oh, my books are still going to be around for years to come. They're still going to help someone. Like this book, Asexual Perspective book. If you haven't got a copy, get one from Amazon, all good bookshops. Right? This book, I've had people say it changed their lives. Some people have been suicidal when they read this. And after they finished reading it, they're like, oh, they were so relieved to know they're not broken. To know it's okay to be them because they saw themselves in some of the stories in this book. Right? That to me is priceless. I don't care about millions of pounds. That to me is saving lives. Saving lives, right? That saves lives. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here because I care about people. I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't like money. I do. I've got to make money, make cash channel, right? I get fascinated about people who make money doing what they love. That's what the main aim of that channel is. And also teaching people how to make spare cash on marketplaces, right? I'm good at doing that. I'm good at selling physical products. I did that for a living for years for an employer, right? I like selling physical products. I actually get a buzz out of it. So I teach people how to sell stuff on Vinted, Facebook Marketplace. You can go over to make money and make cash now. Subscribe to that channel. You can go through the free boot camps and stuff I've got on there, free video courses, right? On YouTube. They're great, right? So I do love doing that. And I do love, if I get, I got £5 for those cassettes the other day. It's not much money, but I'm happy with that. I've decluttered some of my home. Some of those stuff was to do with exes. A couple of the tapes was to do with my ex-boyfriends from when I was 16, which I even got. Declutter it, get all those old energies out, get rid of them, build a new life, make some cash on the side, help some people learn how to make cash for themselves. Because when you're redundant, for example, when you're having a money crisis, right, you can start a business online, but it takes a long time to get that growing and going a lot of the time, right? And people just want extra cash for paying bills or going on holiday, paying for food. And if I can teach people how to do that, a real skill for life, then it's good because they have a way of making a bit of money for themselves. So they're not completely stuck. You know what I mean? So that to me is helping human beings. It's helping humanity. And that's what I'm all about. Helping humanity, not just helping myself in life, but helping humanity. My mission is big. I intend to succeed in helping asexuals as much as I possibly can while I'm alive, So, I wanted to share these things with you. I wanted to share how, for me, dating relationships been kryptonite for my soul. I have enjoyed the dating journey to a certain extent online. I've been able to get, talk to different guys from different cultures, different backgrounds. I've been able to improve my communication skills on dating sites. I've been able to spot scammers and a lot more on dating sites. I've been able to decipher what sexuals really mean in their messages on dating sites. I'm very good at working out when they're not good. I didn't take my own advice for the last guy. I met him on Facebook dating. I should have taken my own advice because then I would have been fine. I wouldn't have got into that relationship. But I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe I was meant to be with that guy so that I would have the huge upset and pain to go through to grow myself, to take myself to the next level of my life, right? Through our pain comes our triumph. Through our pain and tragedy and upset and grief comes our greatest precious moments, erupting like beautiful flower and leaving the ashes behind. So we have to remember this. These situations are here to grow us in our life and on a spiritual journey, feel spiritual, or just grow and develop ourselves, And so, I'm okay, well, you did try a relationship with an Indian guy. Didn't work out, right? That was kind of what you wanted to try. You've had a date with an Indian guy. You've tried actually a relationship with an Indian guy now. You kind of have done that, so you don't have to do it again. Maybe your guy in the future is not Indian. Maybe he is still. Who knows, right? I still in my mind, I'm still very kind of fixated on Indian guys because, I just have the most attractions for them still and stuff like that. But I think finding a good one of them is pretty hard to come by. But you know what I mean? It's I just think that these lessons I'm learning in my life now is a huge opportunity for me to grow in multiple ways. I've had a lot of health problems this year, which has really like focused me on my health. You know, like I often believe in life, you know, like if you ignore things for long enough, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will literally plonk it in front of you and say, right, you've got to pay attention to this now. You can't ignore it anymore. So I can't ignore my health anymore. I have to this year work on my health. Homeopath I'm paying for. It's not cheap to sort things out with my rashes and stuff like that, right? I'm having physio, that is on the NHS, right? That person's not supposed to keep giving physio sessions. I had one week before last, and I got one session this week coming up. I'm not sure if she'll do one more session with me or not, but she can do rehabilitation at a different place, at a hospital. But at the moment, I did say no to that. But I don't know if I'll need to still see her. It depends how because I'm still getting better, and it's going to still take a while. It's going to take 2 or plus months, I reckon, for me to get better. And so yeah, it's coming up to a month soon. 4 weeks I think it is tomorrow, actually, since I injured myself. So yeah, so I'm focused on health, and like also, I have health products regularly for different things. So like, and the Love Life Club. So Love Life Club is dating, relationships, improving my mindset, improving my skills in that area. Homeopath, physical, mental, emotional, holistic stuff. Physio for physical stuff. So, and I have been trying to seek help for my mental health, more to do with past traumas. That's still ongoing. I am actually on a waiting list to see someone at somewhere I went years ago, because I think obviously this relationships brought up a lot of past traumas and stuff that I thought I'd worked on significantly enough, but clearly not. So I think it'd be good if I found the right therapist to work with on some of that stuff, or as much as possible, So that's still kind of a pending thing. But at the moment, I'm really glad that I'm feeling better being single. All of a sudden, I come to the realization of how much good I am, like, because I've started writing, positive stuff about myself again. Like, I'm asking myself, like, Sandra, what do you like about yourself? It doesn't matter what other people think. You need to like be more self-contained unit of life. You need to love yourself more and work on your own self-worth instead of looking for external validation, which I didn't think I did that much. Especially before I got into the last relationship. But obviously I was used to external validation on dating sites for like 10 years. Not because I don't think I was seeking out validation that much. I think it's more a case of I wanted the romance and the connection with I was looking for a guy, but I was when the romance and connection, someone to talk to, more than actually the validation, if you know what I mean. But having guys on dating sites for 10 years telling me I'm beautiful, I'm good looking, I'm gorgeous, of course that's had a positive impact on me. I have to say that all that has had a huge positive impact on me. So dating relationships, although it's kryptonite for my soul in some ways, because like when I get into a relationship, I find my confidence goes down. I found my self-esteem goes down. I feel like I lose some of my identity. I feel like the person becomes ungrateful for me. I feel like more down and stuff like that. I lose my sparkle. That's the danger. And like, like being attracted to guys that are maybe good looking, but not got much other good characteristics going for them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, or at least not with me, in the end. So, that's kind of really tough. Right. And so it's almost like dating relationships, particularly relationships, like a weakness of mine, which obviously that's why I'm doing the Love Life Club, to improve my relationship skills and knowledge, to take it to the next level, to at least be a better person in and of myself, and have better understanding of dynamics and how things work. At the moment, I'm thinking I'm better off being single and staying single, because I am so much better today. Like I've shifted. It's like something in me shifted. And all of a sudden, I feel empowered. I'm like, Sandra, like this dynamo all of a sudden. You've got your mojo back. You remember how strong you were as a single person. It's like having these curtains that have been drawn, and all of a sudden, the curtains have been lifted, flung back, flung off their rails, if you like. And all of a sudden, this sunshine has opened up into your life. And it's made you smile again. It's made you shine your light again. It's made you be on top of the world again. Because do you know how many good things are waiting for you? All the writing stuff that's waiting for you. How much you can go for your dreams now, because you haven't got you're not active on dating sites anymore. You're not going and pursuing a relationship anymore. And that's been hard to get used to all that time back to myself. But now, because I know I haven't put a lot of people into my asexual groups for ages. I've been really bad about that. I hold my hands up because I've had like a lot of emotional struggles and stuff, and I'm behind on what I needed to do for Blue Talks Experts Bureau. That's why I'm doing my media press kit, 2 pages, because I have a big one, but they wanted a 2-page one. And that's been needed for months. Like I was very poorly, like back in February, so it got left. But, you know, I'm having to do that for them. I have to work through the order of things that really should have been done months ago, right? So I have been slack. I have been in a bad emotional state and physical state. So I haven't kept up with stuff like I should have done. I hold my hands up to that, but it's time for me to get better. You know, there's always a lot of room for improvement in that respect, you know. And it's weird, it's because I like to be organized with time and stuff, but also, you know, I find that my life is the kind of like business side of stuff is a little bit more disorganized sometimes with me. So I want to more organized and structure, but I do find that I need some flexibility as well because of my creativity, and because like sometimes I just feel like doing something more that I've got to do, and I've got to do it there and then, you know what I mean? So, but self-dating every week on a Sunday, making that a practice of self-love and self-care is very important. So I'd strongly urge you, you know, like if you're looking to be a solo artist of life, what does that even mean? A solo artist of life means you are artistic in your solo life. So when I mean artistic, you're using your superhero self powers to empower yourself to come into your own, and you're kind of making being single like an art form, like the most beautiful thing in the world for you while you're single, right? Even if you're looking to get a relationship later or whatever, you're looking to make your single life the most beautiful art form, the most beautiful thing. Art form and artistry is when you look at it and it's like a creative work. You know, it's like a creative work. Being a solo artist of life is like working on yourself and being creative about your own life and your own self so that you fill your own life and cup up with the most amazing, beautiful things. This means buying yourself gifts. This means taking yourself out on dates, being like a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever gender you're into to yourself, right? This means positive self-talk on a daily basis. And this means revving up your own like look, saying how good and gorgeous your looks are, talking positively about yourself, like kind and caring and generous and loving and giving, talking yourself up. So it's like you are writing your own love story with yourself, and you're being artistic in the way you express yourself because you're allowing your full authentic self to come out. You're allowing your passion to come out. You're allowing yourself to express yourself in the most authentic way to you. And you are loving yourself despite what people say, so that you get so strong in yourself that people who start saying negative stuff to you, it might have affected you when you were down and you felt at your worst, but then you build yourself up so strong that it doesn't matter what they say anymore. You're like, if you want to be negative in your life, that's up to you. You waste your time and energy being negative about me, that's on you. I got better things to do with my time, like talk positively to myself and keep the positive mindset and drive myself to positivity. So it's like creating your own love story, like I said, with yourself, writing your new story in your life and tying up all the ends of your other chapters in your life and just growing like a big, beautiful flower that's in bloom. And you're like got all the petals shining around you, and then got the light on your petals, and these are glistening, baby. They're glistening in the water and the moonlight, and you're just feeling so good. You're feeling like a rainbow every day, or at least as much as possible. And you just think of this beautiful flower, and I'm opening up now, and I'm opening up my petals, and I'm shining my light, and I'm going to get brighter and brighter and brighter, because the more I talk positively to myself, the more I say I love myself, all the kind stuff to myself, the more I rev myself up in life, the more I be my own cheerleader, the better my life is going to be, because I'm going to take control of my life and be the best solo artist superhero of my life. Now, you want to know what a superhero does? You'll know some of the qualities in here. Fibromyalgia self-help handbook. The qualities of a superhero, right? We've got the qualities of a rock star here, right? So this is how to be like a superhero rock star, right? The superhero rock star, but there's also how to be like the qualities of a superhero in here as well. right? And so this is really important. I love this book because it's like a superhero book. Let's examine the qualities of a rock star, right? If you want to be a superhero rock star, then go and grab a copy of this book, right? Let's examine the qualities of a rock star. Resilient, open-minded, creative, creating the solo life you love. Kicking butt. What did I say? Kicking butt, baby. Strong, true to themselves, action takers, and remarkable, right? So, you know, this book is amazing because it teaches you how to be the rock star superhero of your own life. Don't forget, get this on Amazon. So, what are the qualities of a rock star performer? You lead by example and are a leader in and of your own life. And this is very true about being a solo artist of life. You're in charge, you're a leader in your own life, and you are empowering yourself to move forward with bold, crazy action moves. And you're like, yes, nothing's going to stop me. Don't stop me now. Yes, I know I can't sing. That's fine. But you can still sing to yourself, don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Right. You are not easily influenced. It's another rock star quality. But you influence others through your commitment to your mission and your inspiration that nothing will stop you living your life your way. You've got to get this book if you want to live a solo artist of life the right rock star way, people, because this is amazing. It teaches you how to do this. Right? You are passionate about life, act young, vibrant, and energetic, and do not care what others think of you and your behavior. Obviously, you know, don't be nasty to people, right? It goes without saying, but I have to say that, right? You are your true, authentic self, following your own path and standing out from the crowd. I love standing out from the crowd. You play by your own rules in the game of life. This is how I'm a rock star superhero. This is how I was before, and this is how I am again now. At least getting that way, right? You play by your own rules in the game of life. I just said that one, but I like that one. You have the right can-do attitude and a relentless work ethic. I'm working on that one. Nothing phases you. Working on that one. You are determined to not let anything stop you from achieving your goals, ambitions, and dreams, and will adapt in whatever ways necessary to get them. On the case. You're a problem solver, a go-getter, an action taker. On the case. You will overcome obstacles and struggles to perform to the best of your ability. In fact, you see obstacles as challenges and will adapt to tackle those challenges head on to overcome them. Yes, yes, yes. You will change your direction in life if need be and not allow fear of the unknown to consume you. Yes, I'm on a path of growth. Growth, less fear. You believe in yourself and your abilities. You know you have an inner strength that will get through anything life throws at you. And I'm going to end it there. There's more in here, so don't forget to grab a copy of that. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Always be the superhero of your own life to save yourself from pain. That's the premise of this book. And you know, go forth with personal power and feel empowered and know that I'm rooting for you. You got this. If you're going through difficult times at the moment, keep going. You will come out the other side a more stronger person, right? Don't let beeps grind you down, right? Overcome those struggles. It will take time, but push through your fears and remain strong as possible, right? Remember, you have superhero qualities within you. They might be lying dormant, but you've got them in there and you can unleash them on the world whenever you want. Talk positively to yourself, listen to positive affirmations, do some exercise or dancing, move your body, make sure you look after your health, make sure you're positively talking about yourself, about your looks, and about the great qualities that you have. The more you talk positively to yourself, not negatively, the more negative people won't affect you, and the more you'll drown out those negative talking people, right? And your own negative self-talk will go a lot of the time, right? Go and grab a copy of all these books on Amazon because they are life-changing. They'll take your life from pain to gain. Die Confessions is my latest one, which someone just wrote that on Amazon, a review that says it made them feel seen. Right, so that's really good. Go and get a copy of Asexual Perspectives. This answers pretty much any and all questions you might have regarding asexuality, especially when you're new to it in the asexual spectrum. bust through a lot of stereotypes and myths about asexuality. So do asexuals what porn? Do they masturbate? What's the difference between sexual attraction and sexual desire? And fibromyalgia self-help handbook. Even if you haven't got fibromyalgia, it can help you to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier like a superhero rock star, and will really help you move forward with your solo artist of life, superhero life that's waiting for you if you haven't already taken that leap of faith in you. Anyway, I love you lots. Take care. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you, Liam, for being in chat. Thanks everyone else for being here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you get movie reviews, I should say, in your inbox, and you get lots of movie reviews. I do movie reviews, and you also get educational videos, you get lifestyle videos from me, entertainment videos, you get vlogs, all sorts of different stuff, especially for asexuals, and to help you to know that you can be comfortable and confident in your asexuality and live a fantastic asexual life through all the challenges, the struggles, the ups and downs and pains. You can still have a beautiful life again, and you can still be an incredible, special person that you are as you are in this life. Never forget, the real you is the person that everyone needs to see. I love you dearly. So don't forget, if you want more help with love life, confidence, dating, relationships, self-love and self-care, this is the place to be. And for education about asexuality. Subscribe and hit the bell icon now. And I'll see you soon in the next video live stream. Lots of love. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And I'll see you soon. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye.